Hey guys, in this video I want to go over my favorite reverb pedals. I'll tell you why I like them and how I use them. Let's go over the gear that I'm using. I'm playing the PRS SE Custom Semi-Hollow through my Yamaha THR100 HD with the pedal in the effects loop. If the pedal can be run in stereo, then you'll hear it in stereo. From there it runs from the XLR outs to my interface into the DAW. The first pedal I want to show you guys is the Boss RV2 Digital Reverb. Up until the release of this pedal, digital reverb effects were only available in rack units. But when Boss designed a smaller chip for the RRV10 in the Micro Rack series, they managed to fit it in a familiar Boss-sized pedal. The RV2 was potentially a game changer as it made it possible to add digital reverb to a pedal board and therefore made the effect more convenient for guitarists. A fun fact about the RV2 is that it does not have a battery connector. Boss knew that you would burn through batteries that quickly that they included an adapter. Next up is the Boss RV3 Digital Reverb and Delay. Since Boss ended the production of the RV2 in 1989, they went for 5 years without a reverb pedal in their lineup. In 1994, the follow-up was the RV3. This time with delay in the name, as this new pedal came with 2 more delay modes, along with 4 reverb modes and 4 delay and reverb combination modes. Especially the combination of reverb and delay in one pedal was kind of unique. The gate mode that was in the RV2 was removed. The coolest feature on the RV3, to me at least, is the fact that you can go 100% wet with the balance knob. Even on the RV5 and the RV6, you don't have that much control through the knobs. I know you can just use one of the outputs to go 100% wet, but it's not as handy as the balance knob on the RV3. Let's take a look at the Boss RV5 Digital Reverb. Now this pedal I actually bought again for this video. I sold it and I kind of regretted it, but it deserves to be mentioned in this video. I do remember why I sold it though. It's kind of a one-trick pony, but it's a beautiful trick, and you'll hear that in a bit. Boss decided to change the name back and lose delay in the title, but this time they actually only included reverb effects. My guess is that they did that to boost the sales of their dedicated delay pedals, but I could be wrong. The modes on this guy are the familiar gate, room, hall, and plate, plus 2 newer modes, spring and modulate. The spring mode is definitely usable, though I prefer a more splashier reverb, which I will also cover in this video. The magic of this pedal happens in the modulate mode. The reverb tails have this beautiful modulation going, which is something totally new when I tried this for the first time. I simply crank the effect level, close my eyes, and forget about the world for a second. Now, I'm aware that the RV6 also has the modulate mode, but what I've heard is that it sounds a little different. Now, you might be able to tweak that with the tone control, but to me, the modulate in the RV5 has that real magic. Up next is the Boss FRV1 Fender Reverb. This pedal is part of the Legend series, which was a collaboration with Fender that resulted in 3 effects. The pedal I'm featuring here is modeled after the 1963 Fender Spring Reverb. It's this classic Fender standalone spring tank that gives you that typical splashy spring sound. So this pedal does a really good job of recreating a very particular sound. I actually used it in the studio even though we had an actual Fender amp with a good reverb on board to use. And we chose to use the pedal anyway. They only sold this pedal for a couple of years, and I think it's because the licensing deal came to an end with Fender. Since then, the pedal has actually gotten more popular and the prices have gone up. Let's check out the Line 6 M5. This is the only one on the list that isn't a reverb only. This pedal is kind of the Swiss Army knife of my board. I use it for different effects I don't want to have dedicated pedals for, as my pedal board real estate is always limited. The effect on the M5 that I really love is the particle verb. It creates these really cool pad-like sounds, and it's kind of similar to the RV5 because of the modulation, but it's totally different. Now the M series is getting pretty old, but the fact that Line 6 included this particular reverb in their Helix products kind of says a lot. So here's the first version of the TC Electronic Hall of Fame. This is the pedal that made me sell my Boss RV5 back in the day. I moved to Canada and didn't want to bring much gear. It was a tough decision, but the cool thing about this Hall of Fame is that you can upload tone prints, which are unique presets created by TC or certain artists. Later, they even made it possible for you to create your own custom presets through their editor. Even though I love the idea of coming up with a preset that is totally unique, I always ended up using the tone print Big Room with a View, not to be confused with Room with a View. There's some really nice modulation happening in the reverb tails, and it's kind of similar to the RV5, hence why I sold the RV5 for this pedal. But to be honest, there's room for liking both of these pedals. The last reverb on this list is the Digitech Supernatural. In 2012, Digitech launched this pedal as an exclusive through Pro Guitar Shop. It fits the line of the Hardwire series and is a more extreme version of the RV7 reverb. Based on the classic Lexicon algorithms, the Supernatural holds 7 really unique modes. Here are some of my favorite ways to use the Supernatural. The spring mode is quite realistic. There's a great video by Pro Guitar Shop that compares it to the real deal, and it's really hard to tell them apart. My other favorite mode is the plate with modulation. You can tell that I really like modulation, but this is the only pedal that I have that does plate, my favorite mode, along with modulation. The third mode I want to show you is the shine mode. It's basically shimmer but with added chorus. I'm not a big fan of shimmer in general, but this sounds quite amazing. So these are my favorite reverb pedals, and they all excel in their own modes and features. Most of these pedals I keep around for their sound, and some of them I also keep because of their collectability and just the story behind it. Now let me know in the comments below which reverb pedals you like and why you like them. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you feel like doing that, and we'll talk about more gear soon.